We have learned how to count and convert number between number systems. To complete the puzzle, we need to learn arithmetic operations. In the dictionary, arithmetic is the branch of mathematics dealing with the properties and manipulation of numbers. That means addition, subtraction, etc. We're familiar with that in the decimal system, but from now on, we'll mainly focus on the binary system as it is the system used the most in digital circuits. See, we're easing into digital circuits here, and we will see an actual one in this video. Let's start with addition. Addition in the binary system and in any other systems follows the same principles used in the decimal system. Let's see an example on how it works in the binary system. We'll add two binary numbers, 10101.101 and 11.01. It's normal addition. Let's lay the numbers out, start from the radix point, which is our reference point as always. Radix point 101 and 10101, and down here we have 11 and 01. Let's add the leading zeros and the plus sign so the numbers look neat. Now we start adding. Remember, we always start from the LSB and to the left. 1 plus 0 equals 1, 0 plus 1 equals 1, and here 1 plus 0 equals 1. Radix point goes in place. Now we have 1 plus 1. 1 plus 1 in binary equals 1, 0. Since we won't be able to express 1, 0 in a single digit, so the 0 goes down here, and the 1 goes to the more significant bit to the left, and we call it a carry, just like in the decimal system. Then we continue adding, and we count the carry in. 1 plus 1 equals 1, 0. Just like the previous one, 0 goes down here, and another carry is up here. Next we have 1 plus 1, just like the previous one, 0 goes here and 1 up here. 1 plus 0 equals 1. And the last one here is 1 plus 0 equals 1. So 10101.101 plus 11.01 equals 11000.111. All numbers are in the binary. Let's see another example. Compare the following in the binary system. 1101 in binary plus 1100 in binary. Pause the video and try to solve it on your own. Let's start. We lay the numbers out. 1011 and 0011. We start from the LSB. 1 plus 0 equals 1, 0 plus 0 equals 0, 1 plus 1 equals 1, 0. So we have 0 down here and 1 up here, and here we have 1 plus 1 plus 1 with the carry. 1 plus 1 plus 1 equals 1, 0 plus 1, which equals 1, 1. So 1 goes down here, and this one goes up here to the more significant bit. We add leading zeros, and then we add, so we get 1. So 1101 plus 1100 equals 11001. All numbers are in the binary. Note that both numbers consist of 4 digits, but the result consists of 5 digits. We call this extra one a carry out. On paper we can write it down, there's no problem. But in physical digital circuits we have a fixed number of inputs and outputs. So how do we convey that carry out digit? Let's see an actual digital circuit in real life. This is what we call an integrated circuit, or IC. Those pins on this IC represent inputs and outputs. So a single pin can have one of two states, on or high, which is when its voltage is higher than 0 volts, and we represent that in the binary system with 1, or the second state when it's off or low, which is when the voltage equals 0 volts, and that is represented by 0 in the binary system. Each IC has a unique model number. It is used to identify the IC so we know what exactly we're dealing with. If you look up the model number on Google, you'll find a data sheet for the IC. The data sheet will show you the function of the IC, how it is connected internally, what each pin represents, how to connect them, and more. This IC I'm holding is a 4-bit binary full adder, and its model number is SN74LS83N. As the name suggests, it adds two 4-bit binary numbers and generates their summation. You may or may not be familiar with this, but this is called a breadboard. It is a structure we use to build and test logic circuits. Across it, it has vertical and horizontal connectors as we see here to create common lines for low and high voltage. And these are LEDs. We use them so we can visualize outputs and inputs. Of course, I won't be able to see an output unless it was represented. We're going to use them today to represent the summation our adder will generate. Let's start building our logic circuit. I won't go over how I'm connecting it or over the datasheet in this video because it's not our main focus, but what I am building here is basically a circuit that takes two 4-bit numbers as inputs and generates their summation as an output that will be represented using LEDs. Our main focus here is to compare our results on paper to our results in real life. And I think you're sick of my black screen too, so it's nice to see something different. Alright, let's add 0101 and 0001 in binary, obviously. On paper, the result is 0110. Stop the video and fact check me. I represented those two numbers in our circuit as inputs to the adder and connected these 4 LEDs to the output or summation pins of it. When we power our circuit up, we get the 2 LEDs in the middle lit up. Mind you, in the circuit, a lit up LED is a 1 and an off LED is a 0. So our result here is basically 0110, which matches our result on paper. Bingo. Let's take a step further though. Now let's add 1101 and 1001. On paper, the result is 10110, 5 bits. Let's see what our adder thinks though. Unfortunately, it thinks the result is 0110, which is the same result for the numbers we added earlier. So this is a big discrepancy which makes our adder totally inaccurate. But wait, here comes our carry-out pin to save the scene. This adder supports carries, so it has a designated output pin for carry-outs. Let me connect it to an extra LED. And see the answer now? It is 10110, which matches our answer on paper. Problem solved, and our adder proved itself reliable. And that was how we tackled the carry-out challenge in ICs. Hope you enjoyed how digital circuits work in real life. Now back to arithmetics. I have some practice exercises for you. Our exercise says, find the answer in binary. A, 110.1 in binary plus 1001 in binary. B, 1111 in binary plus 11111 in binary. C, 77 in octal plus 17 in octal, and the answer is needed in binary. D, 100 binary plus 5 in decimal, and the answer must be in binary. As always, the answers are in the PDF in the description with a summary of this lesson and extra exercises. We have gone over addition, but how does subtraction work? We use the same principles used in the decimal system here. As we know, in subtraction we have a minuend, which is the number being subtracted from, usually on top, and a subtrahend, which is the number being subtracted from the other, usually at the bottom. And their order is important. Let's see an example. What is 101.11 binary minus 11.01 binary? I'll draw it up here. As we know, this is the minuend, so it goes to the top, and that is the subtrahend, so it goes to the bottom. We align them with the radix point as a reference, 1, 0, 1, and 1, 1, and at the bottom here, 0, 1, and 1, 1. Annihilating 0 with the minus sign, so it's all aligned. As we know, we start from the LSB and go to the left. 1 minus 1 equals 0, 1 minus 0 equals 1, and the radix point goes in place. 1 minus 1 equals 0, and here we have 0 minus 1. But 0 is less than 1, so subtraction won't work. We need what we call a borrow from the more significant bit, which is the one to the left, just like in the decimal system. But let's stop for a moment here to take a thorough look at how borrowing actually works in that system. Say we have 150 minus 98 in decimal. Let's solve it. 150 and here 98. Let's subtract. 0 is less than 8, so we borrow here. Without much thinking, the 0 would become a 10. But how so? 0 becoming a 10 is basically the borrower being added to 10, which is the radix. In other words, it's the borrower plus r, the radix. And just like energy, numbers are conserved too. So the 10 received came from the 5, the more significant bit. But remember that the positional multiplier for this digit is 10 times the position multiplier for the 0. So a 10 at the 0's index is a 1 at the 5's index. So it is basically 50 minus 10, which equals 40, or 5 minus 1 equals 4, same thing. So here we have 10 instead of 0, and 4 instead of 5. Now we have 10 minus 8 equals 2. Then we continue, 4 minus 9, but 4 is less than 9, so we need to borrow here. Same thing here. 4 plus r equals 4 plus 10, which equals 14. And the lender digit, goes 100 down given its positional multiplier. So we have 100 minus 100 equals 0, or 1 minus 1 equals 0 for short. 14 minus 9 equals 5, and 0 minus 0 equals 0. So 150 minus 98 equals 52 in decimal. So back to our binary subtraction, just like the decimal system, we add the radix to 0. The radix here is 2, which is 1 0 in binary. So we get 0 plus 1 0 equals 1 0, and the 1 goes 1 down, so we get 0. Know that 1 0 minus 1 equals 1, and the result is 10.1 in binary. Let's see another example. Our example here says compute the following numbers in the binary system. 110001 minus 10011, all in binary. Pause the video and try to solve it on your own. Let's lay the numbers out. 110001 and 11001. 1 minus 1 equals 0, and here 0 is less than 1, so we borrow. The 0 next door can't give because it's a 0, so we keep going to the left until we find a bit that can lend. Here's our bit. This one will give a 1 0 to this 0. So the 1 will become 0, and the 0 will become 1 0. This 1 0 will immediately lend the 0 here. So it will go 1 down. 1 0 minus 1 equals 1, so it is 1 now. And the same will happen with this new 1 0 to lend our original borrower. So finally here we have 1 0. That leaves us with 1 0 minus 1 equals 1, 1 minus 0 equals 1, 1 minus 0 equals 1. And this is 0 now, so we borrow. We get 1 0 here and 0 here. 1 0 minus 1 equals 1, and 0 minus 0 equals 0. The result is 1 1 1 1 0. To double check, we can convert the numbers to the decimal and see if the result makes sense. But don't make a mistake converting, because that will get you into a rabbit hole. And this goes without saying, but we cannot add or subtract numbers that don't belong to the same system. Let's align the positional multipliers. 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, and 1, 2, 4, 8, 16. For the minuend, we have 32 plus 16 plus 1 equals 49, and for the subtrahend, we have 16 plus 2 plus 1, which equals 19. We perform the subtraction here, so 49 minus 19 equals 30. So is 30 decimal equivalent to 11110 in binary? Let's convert 30 decimal to binary. Quotient remainder columns here. 30 divided by 2 equals 15, so we have 15 and 0. Then 15 divided by 2 equals 7.5, so we have 7 and 1. Then 7 divided by 2 equals 3.5, so we get 3 and 1. Then 3 divided by 2 equals 1.5, so we get 1 and 1. And 1 divided by 2 equals a half, so we get 0 and 1, and then stop. Here's the LSB. So our result is 11110, which is equivalent to our result. Bingo. Now we have some practice examples. Compute the following numbers in the binary system. A, 1000 minus 100, all in binary. B, 1100 minus 0111 in binary. C, 10.111 minus 1.10, all in binary. The answers, summary, and extras are in the PDF as always. Before I let you go, let's check this subtraction out. 10 minus 1, all in binary. Here, 0 is less than 1, so we borrow. 0 becomes 10, and the 1 becomes 0, and 10 minus 1 equals 1. But here, 0 is less than 1, so we need to borrow. But we have no lenders. All what we have is leading zeros. That means the minuend is less than the subtrahend, which means the answer is going to be negative. So how do we express a negative in binary? Up until now, we only dealt with positive numbers. In the next videos, however, we will take a detour to explore the world of negative binary numbers. Then we'll come back to finish this unfinished business here. Don't forget to check out the PDF in the description. A bonus challenge that is described in the PDF very well. During this video, I made a choice. This choice was not the most efficient in converting a number. So I need to rewatch the video and figure out what would have been a more efficient choice to make. Until next time.